seeking of health and wellness, we've got to find the balance. We've got to be adequately and properly hydrated, which starts with Kangen. And then everything else on top of that is the sticks that we're building our house. But Kangen is the foundation. It's the concrete on which we're building everything. In scriptural terms, Kangen is the rock that the wise man built his house upon. And while everyone out there is building their houses upon the sand of drugs, chemo, radiation, and surgeries, and trusting that their doctors are really interested in them recovering full on, we're trying to open your eyes to a new truth, or to an old truth that will be new to you, but it will be so much more empowering to you ascertaining the true health that we all have and we are all seeking in Enagic, and that is in fact the mission of Enagic, true health. So yeah, Jay John's gonna rock this little video. This doesn't have anything to do with Enagic, so to speak, but doing some digging around, my man got his shovel out this morning and dug in and found a good gold nugget on just turmeric in and of itself, by these folks that are going to be dropping this knowledge on you here. So dig on it. We'll have a little discussion after the fact, but yeah, it's time we start understanding the power and profound impact turmeric, and specifically Ukon, Enagic style, can have on the body.
Yeah, amen. And thanks for all that, Sean. That's great stuff. And I want everybody to understand something about the Ukon. And I think this really sets it apart from everybody else out there, is that Enagic grows it themselves. They have their own Ukon field, or their own turmeric fields. They grow their own stuff. They grow it with Kangen water.
Yeah.
They use Kangen water to grow the turmeric, and they also don't put any kind of pesticides, any kind of herbicides, any kind of anything on it at all. And they because of the fact that they're growing it themselves, they actually get to have the what's the word, the you know, like with the machines, because
like original equipment manufacturing, everything is absolutely pure, no holds barred, no outside influence. I don't know what that word is.
The quality control.
The quality control.
They get to be able to control the quality of the product because they're the ones growing it. And so, you know, that, to me, that's really important. I know for a lot of other people that might not be so important, but I know for me it's a big thing, because it's just like with the Kangen water machine. I'm not sure if people are aware of this, but every single Kangen water machine is built by a single technician. He, she, whatever. They start the machine from start to finish,
top to bottom, front to back.
And they're not putting in a part and then sending it down the line for some other person to put in another part. No, they start one machine and they work that whole machine all the way from start to finish, and then they pass it on and start another machine. And so I think that's really crucial, really important, because you don't have a bunch of different people involved. And the point of that whole mentioning of that is just the simple fact that the quality control, when you have one person doing it, you can really zero in on the quality control. Yeah. And it's the same thing with the turmeric. They're out there growing it in their own fields and using their own methods and keeping it clean and utilizing Kangen water. And then if you look at your Ukon supplements, it's actually packaged in the little soft gels in Kangen water. Yeah. And so it just doesn't get any better, kids. And so keep in mind, this video is not necessarily directed towards Ukon. It's talking about the benefits all around of turmeric itself. And just keep in mind as you watch this video that what we're talking about is the absolute best, barring none, turmeric on the planet.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do here is go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah, these guys might be talking about just cars in general, but at the end of the day, the car that we're talking about with our Ukon is pretty much the Rolls Royce. And anybody in the planet knows that there ain't too many cars, if any, comparable to a Rolls Royce. So yeah, dig on this, cat. Go ahead and go back. It's 32 minutes of gold. Yeah, dig it without a shovel, guys.
Okay, we're gonna maximize the screen, get rid of our mugs.
No.
And there we are. Hopefully we can see everything good. Hey, Ricky, if you're out there, let me know if
Bickford's on.
things are looking good. Hopefully it's looking good. And you guys can hear it.
Hey folks, thank you for joining us here at Your Health. On today's program, we want to talk about the amazing polyphenol antioxidant called curcumin from the spice turmeric. We'd like to go through each of our major organs and share with you the scientific evidence that helps us to understand the advantages of supplementing curcumin into your diet. This is an amazing program today. Scientists are very excited about this molecule curcumin, and you need to understand why, because it will give you power to improve your health. True power. It really is a remarkable substance. So let's talk about that today. But first, let's go to our news. Let's see what's happening in the health world.
Well, today's show is going to be quite interesting. We're talking about a wonderful, exotic spice. The spice is called turmeric, and out of turmeric comes an amazing component called curcumin.
Yeah, you got it.
Curcumin is really, I tell you, Richard, I can't get excited enough about it because I see how it's changing people's health.
Yes, it is. It is really amazing substance. And all you students of chemistry, find that molecule on the internet and look at it. It's a very special molecule, this curcumin. Curcumin comes from turmeric. That is a member of the ginger family of plants, okay? And turmeric, we start with that. We extract the curcumin from that. Now, turmeric is a dried powder. It's used in cooking. The yellow color is used to make mustard. Okay, it's a coloring agent for butter, margarine. Margarine has traditionally been colored the yellow color with turmeric. And cheddar cheese, that orangey color of cheddar cheese, that's turmeric. That's how they got that color. And it's also used as a spice and a flavor enhancer. Curcumin is a molecule extracted from turmeric. And in cultures where turmeric is used a lot, India, their rate of Alzheimer's disease and colon cancer and several other things is dramatically lower. And scientists, of course, observe that, and they have to know why. You know, scientists can't have a mystery. We just, it drives them crazy. We have to know why. And so extensive research has now been conducted on curcumin. And as an overview, curcumin has anti-tumor activity, antioxidant activity, anti-arthritic, anti-amyloid, that's your Alzheimer's prevention. Anti-ischemic, that's your heart attack. Anti-inflammatory, that's your arthritis, boy. Hepatoprotective, liver protective, antiviral, antibacterial, antiseptic, antifungal, anti-malarial, anti-atherosclerotic, hardening of the arteries. It acts as a phytoestrogen, helping to normalize, modulate hormone function, and a chelator of heavy metals. That's the overview. You know, we could stop right there, but we need a little more to understand this. But curcumin is best known as one of the most powerful antioxidant molecules ever discovered. And it battles virtually all types of free radicals. Now, if you were to research some on curcumin and learn more about it, you would find debate and discussion about, is it really absorbed? See, it's a fat-soluble molecule, and if we were to put it in water and swallow it down, you wouldn't get very much of it into your bloodstream. Now, the pharmaceutical industry has capitalized on that phenomena, hoping you believe natural curcumin and turmeric has no health benefit. They want you to believe only their newly developed drug based on the curcumin molecule will help you. But you know not to fall for that. God gave us the best to begin with. The curcumin molecule. They will not be able to improve it. Well, let me put it this way. Any improvement of that molecule you may have a stronger effect somewhere, but it's going to come with side effects that will be very prohibitive for a lot of people. That's just the nature of things. All right. Well, don't fall for that bit that curcumin can't help you. Only the new drug from curcumin can, because we have extensive research now that has shown you do absorb it, and we have ways to help you increase that absorption. We'll talk a little more about that down the road. So you can ignore that stuff and just go with the science. What is it? Extensive research concludes curcumin is a powerful health-promoting agent with benefits for all parts of the body. And its benefits includes its antioxidant potential and more. We have received over 200 studies on curcumin in just the last 4 months. This is very difficult to keep up on. There's a lot of material here. I'm going to do my best to help you understand it. So be patient with me. We'll get through it, and you will be armed with some very powerful knowledge on curcumin. Now, let's talk basic terms about curcumin's antioxidant potential. It does it by two basic methods. The molecule itself is capable of accepting and giving electrons, so that counters the free radical, okay? But it also, that curcumin molecule affects the DNA in your cells through cell signaling, and it upregulates the body's natural antioxidant pathways. This is why curcumin is such a powerful antioxidant. Twofold. The molecule is powerful, and it affects your native systems that God gave you to deal with free radicals. That makes it extremely powerful, okay? Let's talk about curcumin and cancer. This is very important. Curcumin causes cancer cell apoptosis. That means it causes those cells to engage in programmed cell death. That's the essence of cancer. Run amok replication, beyond the ability of the system to support it. And curcumin has the ability to cause apoptosis. It also directs the DNA to repair any damage that it has incurred that can lead to cancer. So multiple studies now show that cancer therapy results improve when you include curcumin in your plan. We have studies on breast cancer, hormone-driven breast cancer. We have studies on head and neck cancers. We have studies on oral cancer, one of the most difficult cancers to cure. Okay? We have studies on esophageal cancer, biliary cancer, leukemia. These are from all over the world. Multiple myeloma. And we also know from Stanford study that the ability of curcumin to chelate iron reduces cancer risk in the long run by a whole another set of parameters. We also know that it's helpful in prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is driven by testosterone, right? And one of the main treatments is the Lupron injection. Lupron blocks that testosterone. They found that if you add curcumin to the Lupron, it makes it far more effective. Neuroblastoma growth, liver cancer, obesity-related cancers, all of these have been thoroughly studied, and not only is it observational, in other words, we see longer survival if we give curcumin with these cancers, but it has gone to the point now where they know how it's working. Now get this is amazing. Curcumin has been shown to inhibit cancer development at all 6 stages of cancer growth: transformation, initiation, promotion of cancer, invasion of the cancer, the development of blood vessels into the cancer, angiogenesis that's called, and metastasis. That's it for cancer. That's all 6 stages of how cancer overwhelms us and leads to our demise. And curcumin hits that process in every one of those stages. That's why it's so remarkably effective as nutritional support for the cancer patient. Now, rest assured, folks, all this plethora of research coming in on curcumin is driven by pharmaceutical money. We're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars that have been spent on understanding this molecule in the hopes that they can tweak it, change it a little bit, patent a brand new molecule, and end up with a new cancer drug. That will happen, rest assured. But you don't have to wait for them, and you don't have to wait for their side effects that come with that tweaking. Cancer and curcumin. It is absolutely essential. All of our cancer patients, get on this now. It helps to protect you from radiation damage, okay? It makes chemotherapy more effective. It also protects you from the side effects of chemotherapy. All of these are advantageous to the cancer patient. Please remember it for your friends who have cancer. Curcumin. Now let's talk a little bit about the brain. and curcumin. We learned already that in India, the Alzheimer's rates are 1/4 of what they are here. Now, there's several reasons for that, but curcumin is right in the middle of that. We know that curcumin actually, if you combine it with vitamin D, it is capable of eating up those amyloid plaques that end in Alzheimer's disease. So let's say you don't have Alzheimer's. Let's say you don't have any plaques at all. Including curcumin in your daily routine, in your foods, and in your supplement plan, we have enough information to predict your risk of Alzheimer's disease is going to drop dramatically because of this ability to eat up those plaques. Dr. Blaylock calls curcumin one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory agents ever developed. And as we know, this inflammation of these amyloid plaques leads to our demise. So curcumin, for brain health and preservation, it's unparalleled. You know, when I started taking it, especially with the rhizome form with the oil that we've developed so we get better absorption, I had improved clarity the first dose. Now,
Amazing.
Folks, I do my best to be honest with you in all levels, you know, because you trust us. But this is truthful. I could feel it. Could you feel it when you started?
Amazing.
Yes,
Definitely.
it's remarkable. Well, we've talked about cancer. We've talked about curcumin's ability to protect the brain. When we return, let's talk about the heart. What about curcumin and heart disease? We'll be right back.
We're back, everyone, having a fascinating discussion on curcumin. Now, Richard,
Yeah.
that talk about the brain protection, I think we need to do a little bit more on that.
Yeah.
That is just amazing. And like you said, the first time that I took curcumin as well, what I felt, I mean, I didn't feel like a burst of
It wasn't
energy
like a drug
per
or a
se,
stimulant.
but no, but it was more about, oh, I can just do those mathematical computations a little faster.
Yes, it's clarity.
Or I
Gives you
can,
clarity.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Now, how, I couldn't really tell you,
Well, the scientists have figured it
but
out.
I know that it's there.
They have. It's through its antioxidant potential.
I mean, think of all the college students who stay up all
Exactly.
night studying,
Yes.
and all the med students, and
Yeah.
the you know, they're trying so hard to
Yes.
fill their brain with so much information.
Oh, yeah.
How much better they could do,
Mhm.
just this much more help.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Well, studies have shown that curcumin prevents these amyloid plaques. That's Alzheimer's disease, folks. And they've been able to prove, not just suspect, but prove it does it through 8 different mechanisms. You know, that creates a synergy in the body. So each of those 8 things add up to 50 instead of just 8. You know, it's the kind of thing we're talking about. It makes it immensely powerful in protecting brain function. And this has not just been proven in laboratory animals. In human studies, they've been actually able to reduce the amyloid plaque content in the brain of human subjects. They've been able to prove that. That's amazing to me. I love that. Let's see, Dr. Blaylock writes in his books, combining curcumin with magnesium. If you're on that plan and you should have a stroke, now your risk of stroke will drop somewhat at least, but if you do have a stroke and you're on curcumin and magnesium, the damage to your brain is about 50% less because of that strong antioxidant, free radical scavenging ability if you maintain the state of your body. Okay, that's amazing. Curcumin supports brain by lowering oxidative stress, binds up heavy metals, it augments the glutathione system, diminishes oxidative damage to the brain due to organophosphate poisoning. The world is a polluted place. You know, you may have the false sense of security that I don't have any of that stuff going on. Each and every one of us has over 200 chemicals in our bloodstream that God didn't put there. These are pollutants, environmental contaminants, and these things lead to Alzheimer's disease, they lead to Parkinson's disease, neurodegenerative disorders. We all need help with detoxification, and I can't think of a better one than curcumin. The research is outstanding. How about loss of brain energy? Maybe this is why we felt clarity when we started curcumin. The aging brain, I hate to admit I'm aging, but I am. We are. I mean, that's how it's inevitable for all of us. The aging brain produces less energy, making us susceptible to all these problems: stroke, immunoexcitotoxicity, degenerative conditions. They were able to show in laboratory animals that taking curcumin improved their brain energy level by 158%. You know, our brain doesn't flex any muscles, but it uses about 1/4 to 1/3 of our total body energy requirement. at rest, running, whatever. A third to a fourth of the energy your body needs is going right to that brain. And curcumin improves that metabolic pathway by 158%. I think that's the clarity factor.
It's got to be.
You know, that brain fog we get with chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, curcumin is foundational for you to improve that. It will help you dramatically. Now, we promised you about the heart. Even low doses of curcumin lowers cholesterol and triglyceride levels while inhibiting platelet aggregation. This is the sum total of cardiac disease prevention. Lower cholesterol, lower triglycerides, inhibiting platelets so you don't get that clot that breaks loose and gives you a heart attack. Okay? Reduces the formation of oxidized plaques. Tufts was able to prove that. Multiple studies show curcumin slows and prevents vascular disease. Multiple studies now. Curcumin also is helpful in the reperfusion injury. You know, we've talked about that. We don't have time to go into great detail, but if you go on the cardiac bypass machine to have a coronary artery bypass graft, this process, no machine can do what our body naturally does, so there's a compromise there. Yeah, it'll keep you alive, but the Alzheimer's rates go up. Damage to the heart and the lungs is absolutely there on bypass. It kept you alive, it allowed them to do the procedure, but it's not a perfect remedy. Curcumin and other antioxidants have been shown to minimize that damage. See? I personally believe it should be given along with omega-3s and vitamin D to every heart patient. Every one of them should have it. Every one of them should have it. Okay, how about diabetes in the liver? Okay, multiple studies now show curcumin protects the liver from fibrosis. Now, what am I talking about here? As we gain weight, we get fat deposits in our tummy and our thighs. You know, we're all familiar with that, but it also gets laid down in the liver. When fat displaces liver cells, that is a highly inflammatory state. If we don't correct that, it will go on to fibrosis. The fat turns to a scar. That is cirrhosis. And you can get it without ever having to drink. Not one. Isn't that amazing? And it can all be due to gaining weight. Well, curcumin helps to protect the liver from that type of inflammation. They've done multiple studies where one of the classic ones is you take a laboratory animal and you want to see how much a certain agent protects the liver from, say, carbon tetrachloride. This is a very powerful toxin that will just destroy a liver. And we have studies now in animals that show if you give them a dose of curcumin, they can take twice the amount of carbon tetrachloride before they develop liver problems. So once again, these toxins in our environment, fortunately, carbon tetrachloride is not one of those unless you work in a chemical plant. But the point remains, it protects the liver from this damage. So this opens up potential for the diabetics. Diabetics and liver disease. The liver is a main organ of glucose metabolism. It must be protected. Diabetics have tremendous damage going on in the liver. So it is tremendous. Now, also, it helps to protect the diabetic nerve, this antioxidant ability, and the diabetic arteries, the arterial disease of diabetes. They've done extensive research on this. Diabetics, please listen. Include it with your milk thistle, include it with your chromium picolinate and alpha lipoic acid. Now you're doing something powerful to help protect your vessels in diabetes. How about the lungs? Cystic fibrosis patients, tough one. If we give the cystic fibrosis patients curcumin in their supplement plan, it thins their respiratory secretions so they can clear it better. We don't have time to explain all this, but if you have a loved one or if you're a doctor or a nurse, you know what goes on with cystic fibrosis. This inability to clear secretions is their demise, and it ends in chronic infections one after another. These poor patients are on one antibiotic after another, and they typically don't live past 30 years of age due to this phenomenon. Put them on a little curcumin. It'll help them clear their secretions and help with that free radical load. But we're not just talking about the less common cystic fibrosis. What about COPD, asthma? They've been able to show that curcumin has a protective effect against the damages of COPD. You will be able to breathe easy longer with curcumin in COPD. If you are asthmatic, you will have less wheezing with curcumin. We've got the evidence now. This is a food, folks. This is not a drug. None of this has been FDA approved, and I hope it never does, because I want the freedom for everyone to enjoy these benefits. If it's a drug, then only doctors can give it. You know how doctors are. They get clannish with things. They do it a certain way. This needs to be available to everyone. Pain and inflammation, we can get this in before the break. Listen, folks, The pain of your arthritis, the pain of your chronic condition is due to free radical damage in its root cause. This is how arthritis destroys joints. This powerful antioxidant will ease the pain of your arthritis. And it does it quite remarkably. I had a little experience with that just this week. I worked a little too hard over the weekend and the old disc problem flared up a little bit. I said, well, what's different here? It's not usually that bad. Oh, I forgot to take my curcumin all week. And I took 3 or 4 of them, and within 30 minutes, it was noticeably better, as though I'd taken a pain pill. But I didn't take any. I took the curcumin, and it relieved my pain. So add that to your noni. Add it to your fish oil and your magnesium to your plan for your chronic pain, folks. It's going to get better with this. It's that powerful. Have you noticed it helps with any arthritic stuff for you?
I haven't, but I've just noticed
pay attention
overall,
to it. Pay attention to it because curcumin is really helpful for this chronic pain. And now we understand how it does that through calming the free radical load in arthritic pain. We have a break, folks, but there's more on curcumin.
Well, Richard, before we leave arthritis, let's
Yes.
touch a little bit on rheumatoid, because that is a tough one.
We were talking about how the powerful antioxidant curcumin is helpful with pain, and we have several studies that prove that fact. Rheumatoid arthritis, you know, a mainstay of treatment for rheumatoid is your non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Well, this study that was conducted in India found that 500 milligrams of curcumin, which is a fraction of a teaspoon. This is a spice, this is a food. That's a little bitty bite of curcumin. That's not very much, folks. It worked as well as the non-steroidal drugs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs for rheumatoid arthritis. This is your ibuprofen, this is your naproxen, you know, this class. Your aspirin-like products worked as well or better, significantly better. That was the study, significantly better. Another study on the same subject in Thailand, 2 grams, now that's 4 times the other dose, 2 grams of curcumin equals 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. You can't get that dose over the counter. That's prescription only. Think about that for a minute. How many of you are suffering in pain, but whenever you take an ibuprofen or an aspirin, boy, you pay for it. Oh, my stomach. Forget about it. Forget those drugs. Go to curcumin. It works better than the ibuprofen anyway, without the complications. That is a godsend. That alone would put it on my, Oscar-winning supplement list. That's amazing. Let's talk about the kidneys. Let's talk about all you diabetics who are on renal dialysis. We've learned through Dr. Rich Snyder that we got to protect the kidneys. We got to give them antioxidants. We got to take that burden off of them. Curcumin is an excellent candidate for that. Curcumin, let's see, lowers kidney inflammation and protects the kidney and other organs from ischemia, reperfusion, injury. It's a powerful that was a whole study that found that out. It prevents fluoride-induced damage to the kidneys. Curcumin reduced kidney damage of lab animals associated with gentamicin use. Gentamicin is a drug we say for severe life-threatening infections. It's a very effective drug, but it's known to damage the kidneys, put you in renal failure, and damage the hearing. They found if you gave curcumin with gentamicin, the initiation of renal failure was dramatically lower. It protects from that oxidative damage that happens with gentamicin use. Doctors and nurses, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Think about this in your critical care situations. Okay, very important. Curcumin, here's a study from the American Journal of Physiology and Renal Physiology. This is an American study. Curcumin reduced inflammation in all stages of kidney disease, and even later stages of kidney disease showed improvement when the patients took curcumin. Okay, pay attention. You kidney dialysis patients, you've been telling us we forgot about you. We have not. I've been looking for answers and hope for you. Curcumin is part of that answer. Omega-3s are part of that answer. Vitamin D is part of that answer for the kidney patients. Okay, how about the intestinal tract? Curcumin repairs gastric stomach ulcerations caused by the use of aspirin and aspirin-like products, and it does it through a mechanism other than acid suppression. And it's highly effective in healing ulcers. Isn't this amazing? Let's see, what else? And just, oh, here's the other big one I wanted to share with you on intestinal function. Leaky gut syndrome, chronic yeast, intestinal dysbiosis. You know, the junction between the cells is lost, and molecules get in and gain access into the bloodstream, results in food sensitivities and allergies and all to foods, all these terrible things. Guess what? Curcumin improves that barrier. And they were able to show how it did it. The American Journal of Physiology and Gastroenterology, this American Journal, you know, standard of care, peer reviewed. The highest level of evidence we have now on this agent to help us. Let's see, a few other little things that come in on curcumin research. Curcumin is effective against 14 different strains of Candida. Perfect for the yeast syndrome, intestinal dysbiosis. Combine it with a little oregano, a little mangosteen. You know, this type of thing. Put the curcumin into the herb rotation cycle. That's what I'm saying. It is a viable candidate for this, and we have research to back it up. Curcumin improves antibiotic-resistant Staph aureus results. In other words, if you got that terrible methicillin-resistant staph, maybe one of the kids got it from the gym at school, and the antibiotic one round after another, add curcumin to that antibiotic. Add a little oil of oregano, a little probiotic. You're going to cut that cycle. You just got to have science on your side. It makes a huge difference. Curcumin reduces the formation of bacterial biofilms tied to cavities and endocarditis. Curcumin shows protective effect against arsenic-induced DNA damage. Potpourri of help from curcumin. Copper overload, cadmium overload. Each one of these is a study. Each phrase I'm telling you represents $50,000, $100,000 worth of work, maybe even more, and hundreds of scientists' hours, not just laborers. The highest educated people in the world are working on this. Huge effort to give you this information. Curcumin regress endometriosis by multiple methods. Add a little vitamin D to this, ladies who have endometriosis. Now you're going to make some progress on this condition. It's amazing. Other research shows curcumin has powerful COX-2 enzyme inhibition. That's your inflammatory pathways. Over time helps to prevent Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, stroke, arthritis, autoimmune disease, and a wide variety of cancers. You know, if I didn't know more about science, and I haven't spent 35 plus years in studying this, I would say nothing is that good, you know? But don't believe that. It is that good. It makes a huge difference. Is it a miracle drug? It's one of the closest things with that, and vitamin D and fish oil. I mean, it's the top ones. Probiotic. I can go on with my favorites. But rest assured, curcumin needs to be in your supplement plan. You'll be glad you did. And when we return, let's talk about how do you take it, what's the best way to take it, and for how long. We'll discuss that when we return.
We're back, everyone. Okay, Richard.
Yes.
This is so interesting to me. Now, we always say start with your diet. So we want everyone to add turmeric to their diet whenever possible.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, it tastes pretty good.
It does.
It really does. And you can use
taste.
it. You know what? I like it on my black beans. I like to use it liberally in a lot of different ways. So we want to do that.
Any oily dish will help absorption. Let's say you're going to saute some vegetables in olive oil.
Exactly.
That's the Mediterranean diet. That's what we do. Sprinkle a little turmeric on it too. But if you're like me, I don't like to eat any one food all the time.
No.
So I want my supplemental curcumin too to augment my diet.
Well, so that brings the next point up. Let's talk about the best way to supplement.
Well, we will absorb more of curcumin if we put it into an oil. And so what was developed is we take the rhizome oil. This, turmeric looks like a ginger plant. It's that same family. And so that plant has an oil, a naturally occurring oil in it. So we extract that oil, extract out the curcumin, put them together. So you have the fat-soluble curcumin in an oil, a naturally occurring oil in that plant, and absorption of curcumin is increased over 800%. Now we're doing something. Now we're getting blood levels. Now it's cost-effective, efficient, and it just works beautifully.
And that's why it's in the soft gel formation, because of the oil.
That's why. So how many do you take? Anywhere from 1 to 10, 12? There really is no upper limit on this thing. You can take a lot of it. And that's safe to do. I take about 6 of those in a 24-hour period. of the 250 gels. And some days you do less, some days you do more. You know, sometimes, so anywhere in there is good. But I would at least take 2. I would at least take 2 in the day to see these kind of benefits.
You find what works for you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Now, Richard, time is short.
Yeah.
Curcumin is amazing. Let's quickly give everyone maybe some specific conditions that are nutritionally supported with curcumin.
That's a good idea. If you have one of these diagnoses in your medical history, you could benefit from curcumin. Do you have the brain fog, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia? This fibromyalgia is a free radical load that's not being handled. That's its base chemical origin. And there are other things that lead to it, but that's what the chemistry is. And having powerful antioxidants on board is going to help you. Any history of cardiovascular disease, hypertension, maybe you've had angina or a heart attack or heart failure, a valve disease, your heart is being strained with its extra workload, that creates free radicals. See, that damages tissues. Curcumin will help you with that. Cancer patients. This is a gold star supplement for all cancer patients. And please, if you're scheduled for radiation therapy, take your curcumin, take your probiotics, take your beta-glucans, your medicinal mushrooms before the therapy starts. Once the radiation damage has done to these normal tissues, I can't help it much. There are little things we can do that will make your life easier, but it's a prophylaxis idea. Treat it before it happens. That is the absolute best way to do it. And the beauty of it, it makes your radiation more effective against the cancer. It'll also help protect you from the side effects of the chemotherapy, the drugs for cancer treatment. How about dysbiosis, yeast syndrome, irritable bowel disease? These all apply. Curcumin can be helpful for you. As a general antioxidant, as a youth agent, you know, we all want to maintain our youthful appearance as long as possible, right? And having strong antioxidants in your supplement plan and in your diet is foundational for an anti-aging plan. We could do a whole program just on that, okay? How about kidney disease, diabetes? We talked quite a bit about that today. Very important for you. Arthritis, chronic pain. You know, I'm with you on that. I've been a chronic pain patient. I know what your challenges are, and a major portion of our discussions are dedicated for you. Curcumin needs to be added to your noni juice, added to your omega-3s and your glucosamine and chondroitin. If this stuff works, folks, it helps for the pain. More effective, couple of these little tablets, more effective than an 800 milligram ibuprofen. That's a prescription dose. That's amazing, but no side effects. Actually protects the stomach. Arthritis and pain management, folks, what we've learned today that curcumin is among the most remarkable biochemicals ever found. Study it. Look at the molecule. You'll see what I'm talking about. Humans have been safely ingesting turmeric and curcumin for thousands of years. That's your safety profile. Without a doubt, it's safe to take. Mixing your curcumin with rhizome oil greatly improves your absorption and hence the therapeutic effect. There's really no reason not to include this in your diet supplement plan. Folks, thank you so much for your kind attention. We hope to see you again tomorrow right here on Your Health.
Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Love it. Wow, what an awesome, awesome video that was. Hey, Scott, how you doing, buddy?
Sean?
What's up, man?
Turn that volume up.
My volume is up.
There you are. There you okay, cowboy, with the 18-wheeler. Giddy up.
Where are you?
Well, right now I'm in Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Take me to another place. Take me to another land. Make me forget all that hurts me. Help me understand your plan. That's a song called Tennessee from Arrested Development back in the day, but I'm crossing cultural music barriers, which I've done very profoundly in my time. Thank you kindly.
Oh, man, I thought that was an incredible video. I love that. That was, you know, I didn't even know any of that stuff about turmeric. And, you know, we have the very best turmeric on the planet. There's nothing even close to Ukon Tumeric. The way they grow it, the way they do it.
Yeah, because is it like a powder seasoning, right? Like,
Well, typically, that's how that's been used around the world. It's typically a
yeah,
powder, but the
I call it, he called it turmeric, but I call it turmeric.
tomato.
Yeah, but that's what I usually use every time I saute or steam my vegetables or whatever. Not boil them, but saute them or steam them. I always use turmeric
Nice.
because I did know it was good for arthritis. It's supposed to be good to help you with sleep and stuff like that, but I didn't know all the other stuff that it was good for. So
Nice. No, and that's it, man. It's just, it's been used in cooking for a long time, and now these guys at Enagic have taken this Ukon and not only taken the powder, they've got a fall Ukon that's powder based, and they've got a spring Ukon that's oilier. And when you look at the 650 milligrams of combined fall and spring Ukon in each respective serving, you're talking about getting absolute power. Jay John was just telling me about a guy he met that he knows that takes 50 Ukon a day. I mean, this guy might live to be 387 years old, and maybe that's what Moses was on.
but yeah, I'll put like when I'm at the house, stuff like that, I'll put a little bit of turmeric in my coffee. Pour me a cup of coffee, and I'll put sprinkle a bit of turmeric on the top of it. So.
Nice. No, that's it. That's it, man. It's just a matter of really helping people understand. I mean, that's why we're doing this. Yep. We could be doing all kinds of other things on a selfish level, but the beauty of the Kong family and the Kong brothers, oh, that little guy just yawned. So cute. Is to be able to share this message far and wide. To be able to help people learn to get in front of their health instead of chasing it,
We're out to service a message and let people know that we're out to change lives for the better, and that there's actual, like we've said before. I mean, the natural is the Father above, the Almighty, however you want to put it, or whatever. He put everything here on earth that we need, that's natural for us to heal ourselves.
Yeah.
It's our decision on what we're going to do with it. What do we want to do with it? And, we can take care of ourselves. Everything's here. Is this when it comes down to water that we all essentially need as humans, not even us as the animal species of humans, the two-legged species that's actually tearing the earth up. Everything needs water, from the trees to the grass to the animals, even the lakes. We got the ocean, we got the lake, it's full of water. Well, guess what? If it don't rain and don't have that, it's going to eventually run out of water, right? The ocean needs water too. Every freaking thing on earth needs water, people. So you need to understand that, and understand we're out to change the world and to help you with your health. And it's not just the water that we're talking about, to hydrate yourself correctly and all that with the hydrogen and electricity, and just bring yourself back to a better focus and a vision and everything, and start help you we're not saying to cure a disease or illness that you have, but maybe help you out of it, because we have seen it cure illnesses and some deadly diseases that are taking people's lives. So we got to just look into that and know that we're not just educating you guys about water, man. We're out here educating you about what you can put on your food, other things that you can do, other than putting the narcotics in your body, going to the pharmacy, getting your wallet out, going broke, and leaving back in a freaking recliner, sitting back wondering why you're broke and why you couldn't do nothing with your life, because you're all crippled up and can't freaking do nothing. So we're just educating you. Drink the proper water, get rid of the freaking chemicals in your house, because you can clean your house and get rid of all the toxic chemicals that's breaking down your immune system also. And start putting the correct seasonings on your food. You can fight you can heal your body from the inside out. You can fight any disease that we get, you can fight. And you can do it naturally. You don't have to go broke at the pharmacy. You don't have to be taking these narcotics. You don't have to go around living in this world as a zombie, like you're a zombified, living in how you say the eclipse or whatever that's called, or whatever. They just zombified, dragging your feet around and being depressed and just dreary minded and brain fogged all the time. Get off the narcotics and know that there's natural things out there. And that we're the Kong Family Show. We're out helping change the real, talking about the water and other things like that. But like I said, there's other natural things other than that. Just the water is the biggest thing, because every living thing on Earth needs water, needs H2O, needs hydrogen, needs to be hydrated right. So, that's all I had to say.
No, nice.
Amen. Amen, brother. You nailed it. And, the thing is that, like Sean was saying at the beginning before we started the video, that, the water is the foundation. It's the concrete that we're building the house on. But there are other aspects, and all the doctors, everybody that's involved with this, if you ask them if Kong's water is the only thing they need, they'll tell you absolutely not. It's just the largest part of the percentage. It's 75% of the equation at least, and then the other 25% is what you eat, exercise, and all the other external things that we're dealing with. But we're trying to set a solid foundation to build our house on, and man, you guys, do we ever have a solid foundation, man. I'll tell you, after going to San Diego and seeing what was going on down there, seeing all the people, seeing all the stuff that's happening, and we have something, like Sean has said before, and I've always loved this ever since the first time I heard him say it. He said, we have something here that we don't have to apologize for. We have something that we can be proud of, that we can literally hang our hats on. We have something really super special going on here with Kong and water. And it's, my buddy Steely, we spent some time at his house down there in Vegas and installed a machine for him and that. And, he was talking about how I've gone from one thing to another over all the years. And, this sounds so much like that and so much like that and blah, blah, blah. But the truth of the matter is this is something special. This is where I'm headed for the rest of my life. And I hope to drag as many people along with me as possible. And, hopefully things like what we did today, because we're going to start trying to dig into Ukon and Anespa. And I want to get some more understanding going on the Kong Family Show about the other aspects of this company and what we're doing, just to continue to bring value to the show, to bring value to all the people that are out there. This is getting recorded. This is going to be a good one. I got to get my buddy Steely to watch this, because of all those things that doctor was talking about, Steely has a good chunk of them. He's 74 years old. He's got one kidney and one lung, and he's had multiple heart surgeries. He's got all the issues that that you can practically imagine, and the dude is still kicking. He's still battling, and like he says, the devil's afraid of him, so he doesn't want to let him get there.
That's it.
So he keeps him alive, because because I keep that dude alive as long as possible. I don't want him here, man. He's going to come here and whoop my butt. And so anyway, hey, Brenda, good seeing you here. Julio, I'm not sure whether you're still here or not, but great seeing you on the live side. Yvette, my brother Sean, he's right here, but he's on the live side too. Corolla.
Getting ready to head back north. What an adventure down here to San Diego with this cat and his lovely bride. This is my last day down here with this Yahoo, and I tell you what, it's been an adventure. Love this cat. Love our shared mission. Love what we're doing. You guys are beautiful for letting us share this with you. Yeah, man. God bless you guys. I appreciate everything you do for your people, for your willingness to learn and open up the new truths that are older than most of us. Love your open-mindedness. Keep sharing our power. Keep sharing our love. Keep sharing our compassion. And we are going to make a difference. So with that being said, Wetzel's got to go finish packing and getting some things red-eyed like a Jedi, because I got to saddle up my horse and ride north today. Giddy up, you guys. That's it. That's it. You make a good horse sound too, Rodgar.
Hey, JJ, where you find that video, what you just played?
I found it on YouTube. Just YouTube, type in, let's see here. Let's go back to here. The best anti-inflammatory. You see it?
Okay, thanks.
The best anti-inflammatory on the planet.
Okay, we'll search it.
So go to YouTube, punch in what I did. You see right here, I punched in Ukon Enagic right here. And that's how I found that video.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we took Sean down to San Diego, down to Las Vegas. You know, kind of rocked his world a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had a good time.
Getting exposed to me and my wives for 5 days straight. He got to find out what the meaning of surprise is.
And for the record, I might need to go to Trembling Hills Recovery Center for a couple of days just to kind of find my center again. But I use adversity to grow and become better. And what a beautiful lesson that was.
Yeah,
good job, Mr. JJ.
No,
my wife,
I was going to say too, like
Zena was in the house and she introduced herself, let's just say.
I was watching some things about the farmers and things like that. So this kind of like this brought up to my mind real quick too. Not just saying that everything in the world needs water. Essentially, needs water. We're 75% water. Our brain 85% water. Just think about the farmers, guys. To order to get the red spider mites and all the mites and stuff off their plants and everything. I was told they're spraying their crops with 2.5 pH in the mornings, spraying it at nighttime with 11.5, and they're watering it with 6.0. So just think, maybe you should spray off in the morning with 2.5 and spray your body with 5.5 at night, drink, to 6.0, 6.5, 9.5 like we recommend during the day and hydrate yourself. Maybe you can wash the mites off your body and hydrate yourself correctly too.
I love it. I love it. Get rid of the mites. We don't need no mites. We got plenty of those. I got plenty of mites right here in my brain cell.
Knock those spider webs out, right?
Amen. Yeah, kids. Well, I think that was a really interesting show today. I'm like I said, I want to start really digging into this stuff. I'm going to get a hold of Dr. Michael and see if I can get him to come on the show and talk specifically about Ukon and the Anespa, because apparently there's some really serious health benefits to be had by showering in the Anespa water and eating the Ukon supplement. And then, of course, drinking your Kangen water. But, I'm going to hopefully be able to get him to come on. I think that might be the method of madness to get him to finally jump on the show, is to tell him that we really need some information about Anespa and Ukon and how it ties into the water. And because apparently he's been doing some really interesting stuff. And from his visit when Rob Wright was on the show, he was talking about how whenever somebody comes into his clinic and they want to get treated by him, he makes them buy a trifecta. If you're not going to buy this trifecta, then I'm not going to work with you, because you're not giving yourself the chance to make it happen. And you need these three things. This is the foundation of health, these three things. And so I really want to have him come and expand on that stuff. So that'll be something for a future show. Of course, we're always working on getting more guests and everything. We got a big lineup for next week. A lot of great stuff going on, you guys, and we're just going to keep rocking it, keep rolling it. And keep flying down the highway like our resident 18-wheeler that's in the house right now. Dude, be careful out there. Watch out for them damn Anasazi, and be safe. And Roger, thanks for being here, buddy. Always great seeing you. Love your support. And we're going to keep trying to bring as much value as we can every single day to this place so that we can do what we do, because we are the Kong family and we have this really simple goal. We just want to change the world. And hey, Sean, how was it we were going to do that again?
1 glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, absolutely hydrating Kangen water 9.5 at a time. Can I get an amen?
Amen. And 1 lightning bolt in a box, 1 incredible show, 1 amazing guest, 1 awesome family at a time, kids. Get out there, change the world, make it a great day, start with your own world, and of course, do not forget your hugs and your HooDeeHoos. Love you, kids. Make it a great day. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.
Later on, buddy.